My 22F boyfriend 25M thinks our house is haunted. Your original post. Last December, I was fortunate enough to inherit a house that has been in my family since it was built in 1940. It is a little small, but it's beautiful and has a lot of significance to me. When I moved in a few weeks ago, my boyfriend of 4 years ended up coming over quite a bit more. Our previous living situations didn't allow us a lot of sleepovers since we wanted to be considerate of our roommates. Now that we have run of a whole house, he's been staying the night every night, and I've been pretty thrilled to have him around every day. This evening, he begged me to come outside and sit with him while he smoked because he was afraid to be outside alone. I noticed he had been carrying a knife a lot, but I figured it was a symptom of having grown up in the ghetto and that he would adjust to semi-rural suburban life eventually. As it turns out, he actually thinks the house is haunted. A few weeks ago, I drove him home from the bar and he drunkenly told me that he didn't want to go back to that place because it's depressing, but he often talks shit to tease me when he's drunk. So I brushed it off as just being a shitty joke. I explained to him that the only people who have ever lived in this house were my grandparents, who both died in hospice care. But he can't be convinced that it's safe. He also can't be convinced that my grandparents, who called me their little angel and dreamed of one of their grandbabies having a family here, would not be inclined to haunt us. Honestly, I kind of balked at him and was not very respectful of his fear the first time we discussed it. He's very superstitious and spiritual, and believes he feels weird around full moons. I am not. I have always secretly thought his thing about full moons was a little silly but an endearing quirk that didn't matter much. But now his superstition might lead to an ultimatum where I have to choose between him or my amazing home. He's been getting a lot of bad dreams here, including some experiences with sleep paralysis. The thing is, it's a free house and the total I pay for taxes and utilities each month is $600. Even the shittiest, tiniest apartment would cost more. And if we wanted to get rid of the house, I would be expected to pass it to my brother, who also wanted the house free of charge since my parents helped cover basic repairs legal costs. On top of financial concerns, we love our neighbors, and he literally visits with them daily. Their kids come over and ask if he'll come out and play with them after school, and the adults come over at night for beers. The property is also very large, and there's a lot of room for pets' kids expansion. The house itself has old architecture, but has been newly remodeled to my liking, and he helped me pick out much of the stylistic changes we made, so I'd presume he liked it too, until he got it in his head that it's haunted. So it hurt quite a bit to think we'd have to let the place go, especially considering the emotional significance to me and our limited finances that would not allow us to purchase or rent another house at this time. I want to respect his concerns, but I'm honestly torn between calling him an idiot and ignoring it or being outright offended. It's very hard to see why a bad feeling should force us back to more expensive apartment life and a much smaller place at that, or prevent us from moving in together for several more years. Help me see his side of things and find the middle ground with him, Reddit. I honestly just want him to love it here as much as I do, and I'd do anything to assuage his fears. What can I say to him at this point to not sound dismissive but still convince him to consider staying? Now for the update. Hello everyone. I am pleased to say this is a happy update for once. After my original post, I went to my boyfriend full of ideas on how to help put his mind at ease. As it turns out, all of those ideas were wrong for him, but he was deeply appreciative that I was taking his fears seriously instead of putting him down for believing in something I don't. He said he never intended to make me feel like it was him or the house. He loves this place and the history behind it. He just wanted to share with me how he was feeling and do some little rituals. So I helped. We tried to pin down the parts of the house that are spooky to him, and both came to the same conclusion: the attic door in the bedroom is pretty freaking unsettling. It's a Cape Cod-style home with a crawlspace attic on the second floor instead of above it, for some ungodly reason. My grandfather thought it was inconvenient to access this tiny crawlspace through the closet, so he put a little door in the master bedroom, which I've hated since I moved in and had been blocking with a dresser. We sealed up that entrance to the crawlspace and threw some salt around. And since I've always wanted a dog, we got a puppy to ward off evil, and it's hard to be scared with a little fluff ball sleeping on your face. I specifically picked a dog that wasn't jumpy or easily frightened, and my two boys have been inseparable all as well now, and I'm happy I put my skeptical nature aside to support my wonderful boyfriend, no matter how silly it seemed.